This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. RAMP.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
App.
It's a new day in New Bedford. Welcome to the Phil Paleologus Show. With updates and breaking news from the WBSM newsroom and on the WBSM app. And your calls and conversation at 508-996-0500. Here he is, New Bedford's #1 talk show host, WBSM's morning mayor, Phil Paleologus.
I'm in a little bit of a fog here, but no worries. When you tune into the Morning Mayor, we clear everything up, including the weather. Drive safely. It's a little foggy out there, and thank you for starting your, weekend eve. How's that with us? It is Thursday, April the 6th, and Kate and I say, come on down. It's great to have you as we open our arms and hearts to all of our Jewish brothers and sisters for a blessed Passover and, of course, the continuation of Holy Week for Christians and for everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. And once we get through this cloudy start or the fog that we have out there, it's not bad, but it does get dense in patches. Then we're going to make a run for 60, 65 degrees. And, well, we have some rain coming in later on tonight, but that's tonight. Right now, let's start out the day with a blessing, and you get the coffee. We've got all the rest to get your day off to a great start. Speaking of which, the great concert last night, New Bedford Public Schools district-wide band festival. Yes, indeed. Congratulations to all of the young musicians from 4th grade up to 12th grade. What a fabulous, wonderful concert. Congratulations to the teachers who day in and day out teach our children another language. We are waking up to fog, and maybe you have a little in your head. Well, no problem there. A little coffee will take care of that, right? The Red Sox had a little fog also. They lost to the Pirates. And if there's anything that you think you might need for your Easter or Passover holiday meals, just go to the butcher shop. You know, they have everything from prime rib and lamb and ham and whatever it is. They have it there at the butcher shop. So go on by today before the crazy rush begins, right? The temperatures are going to hold steady and even rise a little bit. Right now we have 48 degrees to get things started. And I start with a couple of recalls. One, not actually a recall, but that damn TikTok. Oh, I hate that thing. It is now responsible for a chewing gum challenge after some children in Massachusetts were sent to the hospital chewing this gum. And police have sent out a warning advising moms and dads of a popular, very hot, very spicy gum that TikTok challenge has, and it has sent several kids to the hospital in Franklin County. This hospital say that the gum actually burnt the children's mouth. They say the pepper burn is is serious and that the Southborough Police Department is warning of the TikTok gum challenge. It's called Trouble Bubble. Why don't they get back to just Double Bubble or just Bazooka? But no, the gum has a 16 million Scoville heat unit rating. You know what that means, folks? It's tied to pure red pepper, all right? And that is one of the hottest feelings that you can get. So if you see any Trouble Bubble, toss it. The police said that it is made with this very strong pepper, the same ingredients actually used in police pepper spray. And also the Consumer Reports is advising parents, you know, the delicious Peeps, the candies. Well, they do have a cancer-causing dye that Consumer Reports is warning parents about. Some Marshmallow Peeps contain this cancer-causing dye. The site is asking Peeps manufacturer Just Born Quality Confections to stop using what is known as red dye number 3. It's been around for a long time, folks. They say this dye causes cancer, and Consumer Reports claims the dye is in their pink and in their lavender Peeps and other products that the company includes. Also, this dye has been known to be in, you know, the hot tamales candies and Skittles and party cake Peeps and other candies. The Americans plan to spend a record number of dollars on Easter, and Consumer Reports said it is calling on the FDA to make an all-out ban on the food chemical altogether. That's chemical red dye number 3. I know that we've been complaining about that for decades. Well, we have some news for you this morning. You have the coffee? Good. We have somebody who is running for counselor at large that is making local politics very, very interesting.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
Oh, I know it. They call that a T. There's a few puddles out there from last night. No problemo. We're going to have a nice day. Yeah, well, it's going to be mild at least. Good morning, everybody. We have some news for you. In New Bedford, of course, politics is always interesting, as it is in Fall River. We have some very interesting races going on in both cities. But we understand that Ward 5 City Councilor Scott Lima decided not to run for re-election for his Ward 5 seat. So Joe Lopes has announced, and in the meanwhile, Scott Lima has taken out papers to run for city councilor at large. So it makes everything very interesting in the political game of New Bedford's politics. And, it's always very, very interesting. We'll have more on that, but Scott Lima did pick up papers for re-election yesterday at City Hall. Now, whether he runs for that position is still another question, but he did take out papers to run for counselor at large. Also, we have some others who took out papers that I'll get to in just a minute. I just thought that one was very, very interesting. We have also probably one of the most important education prizes that America offers, the Milken Educators Award. It was created back in the 80s by Lowell Milken. And it is the nation's preeminent teacher recognition program, and nearly 3,000 fantastic, exemplary teachers and principals and specialists have been surprised with individual prizes. So guess what? We have a $25,000 winner, surprised beyond any belief. A Dighton, Massachusetts teacher was ultimately surprised with the Milken Educator Award. Lee Besson was presented with the 2022 Milken Educators Award, the prestigious educational award that is often referred to as the Oscars or the Grammys of teaching. And look at that. Dighton Elementary School, they are so happy this morning. This was all a very big surprise, and the superintendent there said it was very difficult to keep this a secret, a major secret that he held for months. Oh, my gosh. By the way, Lee just returned from maternity leave. She has a brand new baby plus 2 other kids. You think she has a lot on her plate? Good morning. We also have a word that 76%, 76, that's quite a lot, isn't it? Say that the main problem with government finances is that the government spends way too much money. A Scott Rasmussen National Survey found just 17% say the main problem is that government doesn't receive enough money. And now that we have legalized sports betting in Massachusetts, it's time that we have a come to Jesus talk about wagering, all right? We are talking about wagering on the biggest sporting event in all of the Commonwealth. How would you like to bet on the Boston Marathon? That's right. Every year, this historic event draws about 500,000 spectators from all over the world. Residents here in Massachusetts, we have a great heritage of being devoted fans, and along with that dedication, the Bay State has been betting on everything for a long time. Can you believe that gambling legislation here in the Commonwealth goes back to 1719? That was when the first laws were passed, but not to legalize it. They were passed to prohibit it. Nonetheless, lawmakers began noticing back then that the citizens were betting in big numbers right there in the streets. The bookies were getting rich and obviously supporting the illegal underground market. The money could have been going into the government coffers. They didn't have V8 back then, but leaders thought again, and they legalized the first state lottery in 1745 right here in Massachusetts. By the way, they outlawed it again in 1833. My point is, we've had parimutuel betting on all sorts of animals, right? That began back in the 30s. And then the lawmakers were pressured in more recent years to shut things down, to outlaw everything except harness racing. And the question here is, why can you bet on a major league or on college sports teams? Why can you bet on dogs and on horses? And why can you bet on the Red Sox and the Super Bowl, but not for a major marathon? We can put money down on sporting events galore. They bet on everything. It's so interesting to see what some of the things that you can bet on in Las Vegas. But we can't make a wager on who's going to win the 6 World Marathon Majors that's ranked among the world's top road racing events. Folks, this one defies a little gravity. Anyway, the DraftKings, the Boston-based sports book, have asked the state regulators to allow wagering on the Boston Marathon. What do you think? Good? Bad? I believe wagering on the marathon would probably garner a little bit of interest from fans who maybe wouldn't have been interested before. And can you imagine some of the interesting stories that we could get from betting on the marathon and just about, how about charity bets? You know, everything we need today, we can just pull our bets together and maybe come up with a charity bet, not just announcing who the men's and women's winners are of the marathon. You like the idea? I'd like to see it go. You want to bet on it? No. All right. Remember the Butcher Shop. They have everything you need, and a blessed Passover and continuation of Holy Week, tomorrow being, of course, Holy Friday. The Butcher Shop will have all of your Lenten specials, and then whatever your tradition is, they have it all at the Butcher Shop. If you've never had their prime rib, call them. Oh my gosh, they roast it to perfection. All you do is go and pick it up, bring it home, slice it. It's marvelous. Believe me, Celeste and I love it. On, let's see, this is Good Friday also tomorrow. And guess what? You can pick up some of the most delicious baked fish. A nice baked fish dinner with potato, vegetable, and dessert. $20, and it goes to such a great cause. The Knights of Columbus on Route 6 in Mattapoisett have their April grab and go meal. So this is on Good Friday tomorrow. They do have different pickup times. So be sure that you call this number that I'm going to give you, and pickup is between 5:30 and 6:30. You drive up right in front of the building. It is so easy. It is so delicious from the Knights of Columbus. Reserve your meal at 508-237-3803. All right? That's 508-237-3803. We have lots going on at 6:27 on this Thursday morning. And Salve Regina students have unearthed remains of a 150-year-old mansion that is raising eyebrows all over the world. Centuries of history being unearthed in Newport from students at Salve. They launched a project this week digging for evidence of a short-lived mansion, the Edgewater Mansion. And the excavation project is part of the university's year-long 75th anniversary celebration. That in itself deserves a big applause, but the dig is part of a special topics course, and they're wagering all they have to find these wonderful remnants, and so they're finding that they have unearthed a 150-year-old mansion, the Ochre Court. 6:28. Good morning. I was mentioning Easter just a second ago. Well, as in years past, Reverend David Lima has reminded me that he's inviting everyone to the 84th annual Easter Ecumenical Sunrise Service. It's at Fort Phoenix, as it is every year, except in COVID years. Anyway, it's a 6:14 a.m. Sunday morning service. That's when it starts this Sunday at 6:14. You know why 6:14? That's the exact time of sunrise. In fact, didn't you see it just a few minutes ago? We had sunrise this morning at 6:29. It came up at 6:17.
1420 WBSM can now be heard on 99.5 FM.
There you go. Nice to have you with us. Community colleges are having a moment with the Healy administration having placed $20 million to make attendance free for older returning students, and the state's employers crying out for people who They need jobs, all right? The businesses need jobs. The people need jobs. And hopefully this will be one of the way to get those jobs into the people's hands. If you're just joining us, good morning. We've got so much news to share with you. And we're going to in just a second. But we have, of course, Kate Robinson in the newsroom who's going to be coming up here in just a moment. And we have also on Nantucket, you know those billionaires who live there? Well, the billionaires and the other wealthy property owners of Old North Wharf who fought to stop a proposed clam shack. You know, a clam shack as in restaurant, as in nice, delicious clam goodies. This is on Straight Wharf in Nantucket. Last month was a tough month if you're an everyday person who wants that clam shack. They suffered a very, very hard public defeat before the select board, which rejected their arguments and voted to award the restaurant. And so the billionaires are not taking no for an answer. They're coming back. And we'll have all the details on that and more. But right now we're going from Straight Wharf with Fish to the newsroom with Kate. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is officially running for president as a Democrat. The 69-year-old is the son of former New York Senator and assassinated presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy and the nephew of the late JFK. The environmental lawyer and anti-vax activist says his priority as president would be to address corruption within the state and corporate systems, which he says has, quote, shattered the middle class and led to ecological disaster. The Manhattan judge overseeing former President Trump's hush money case has been getting a surge of threats in recent days. Acting New York Supreme Court Judge Juan Merchan, his family, and the Manhattan Criminal Court building itself have received threats since Trump's arraignment Tuesday. One official says the judge and his chambers have received, quote, dozens of threats recently, though that official did not provide a time frame. North Korea says joint military drills between the U.S. and South Korea are pushing tensions to the brink of nuclear war. Mark Mayfield with more.
State media reported today that the North would respond with offensive action. North Korea has long been vocal about its opposition to the drills, which have included nuclear-capable bombers and training for a large-scale amphibious landing. In response, North Korea has tested a new intercontinental ballistic missile and a nuclear-capable underwater attack drone. I'm Mark Mayfield.
French President Emmanuel Macron has urged his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping to use his influence to help stop Russia's war in Ukraine. Macron told Xi at the start of talks in Beijing, quote, I know I can count on you to bring Russia to its senses. Xi said their two countries had the ability and responsibility to safeguard world peace. The French leader is on a state visit to China, which has refused to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine. NPR is slamming Twitter after it labeled its main account state-affiliated media. That's the same label Twitter gives to official state news outlets in countries like Russia and China. The label began appearing on NPR's main Twitter account on Tuesday. Twitter defines state-affiliated media as, quote, outlets where the state exercises control over editorial content. NPR CEO John Lansing said in a statement that it's unacceptable for Twitter to label them this way, and that, quote, NPR stands for freedom of speech and holding the powerful accountable. Twitter CEO Elon Musk tweeted Wednesday that the label seems accurate to him. A report detailing decades of child sexual abuse within the Archdiocese of Baltimore is now public. Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown posted the report yesterday, documenting abuse of at least 600 children, dating back to the 1940s.
Pervasive, pernicious, and persistent abuse by priests and other Archdiocese personnel. It's also a history of repeated cover-up of that abuse by the Catholic Church hierarchy.
Included in the report are the names of 146 abusers identified by the AG's office, with 10 other names redacted. The 456-page report can be found on the AG's website. Baltimore Archbishop William Lori apologized in a statement, saying abuses are, quote, shocking and soul-searing, and he acknowledged that, quote, evil acts did occur. The Archbishop says the church has undergone radical changes to make sure it never happens again. A federal civil rights probe is being opened after police fatally shot a black teenager last month in Washington, D.C. On Wednesday, video footage of the March 18th incident was released, showing 17-year-old Delano Martin sleeping in a possible stolen vehicle. An officer enters the back seat. Martin wakes up and hits the gas before the officer shoots him 6 times. A customer of a Michigan market is facing charges after allegedly assaulting a clerk with a frozen fish. Police said the man went to the market on Sunday, but the fish counter was closed due to Ramadan. He began arguing with the clerk and then picked up a 4-pound frozen fish and hit the worker in the head. The worker was taken to a local hospital for treatment. In sports, the Celtics beat the Toronto Raptors 97-93. They'll take today off before playing each other again Friday night. The Red Sox fell again to the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday, 4-1. Next up, a game with the Tigers in Detroit today at 1:10. And the Bruins play the Toronto Maple Leafs at TD Garden tonight at 7. Now for a look at your local forecast from ABC 6.
We're going to be warming up quickly today. We're going to see some sunshine mid-afternoon. That's going to help those temperatures increase. If you're further inland, we're going to see temperatures in those mid to upper 60s, maybe even 70 degrees for a high. If you're along the coastline, not as warm, upper 50s. Overnight tonight, we have a cold front that's moving through. That's going to bring some showers to the area, and then that will finally taper off, only giving us a high of 56 for Friday. From the ABC 6 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Skylar Spindler on New Bedford's News Talk Station, 1420 WBSM.
Right now it is 46 degrees and drizzling. I'm Kate Robinson for WBSM News. Stay up to date with WBSM, New Bedford's News Talk Station. And get breaking news alerts with the WBSM app.
Get breaking news alerts, stream audio, send us text messages, and get live traffic and weather updates all on the WBSM app. Download it now from your app store or at WBSM.com.
Good morning, Sister Golden Hair. Nice to have you all with us. Do you remember that ship that was coming over with all of those very expensive imported cars and it sank? Remember that? It was last year sometime when, one of those belonged to Ernie Bach Jr. So, fascinating story. Of course, the insurance paid off all of those cars. I think they paid a settlement of something like $400 million. But anyway, Bentley called Ernie Bach and said, listen, you can either go into the front of the line right now and get next year's model, or, you just have to suffer the consequences. So he said, of course. And he knew that the 12-cylinder was in jeopardy, and they literally put him in front of the line. The newly built 4-door, 12-cylinder internal combustion engine Bentley is one of the last of its breed because it's going to increase in value as the company transitions to all electric vehicles. Oh yeah, it's coming. So anyway, he's very, very happy that they offered him that deal. Not bad, huh? He's not a tire kicker. By the way, he says he's not a car collector, although have you ever seen his garage? Huh? You need binoculars to see the end of it.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
Oh, my, huh? Well, a policeman turned Republican state representative wants to legalize magic mushrooms. Yep. Now, if this guy was a Democrat, the headline would read differently, right? But they say ex-cop turned Republican. Well, he is an ex-cop. He's not a police officer. And Actually, Southwick State Rep Nicholas Bolgia has offered 3 pieces of legislation that would see a broad range of psychedelic drugs, including magic mushrooms, made legal for adult use. According to the Boston Herald, it's an unexpected proposal from the Republican lawmaker, widely regarded as the most conservative in the legislature. But he says the substances could help those suffering from mental health issues or give them mental health issues.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
We have lots of news coming up. Did you hear? Scott Lima is running for counselor at large as he gives up his Ward 5 seat. Things are very, very interesting in New Bedford.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM.
Oh, I used to hate those places that would turn the lights on bright, bright, bright a half hour before closing time, and they'd ring a bell. Last call. God. But in a split decision this week, the Oak Bluff Select Board approved moving up the town's last call at bars to 12:30 in the morning with a 1 a.m. closing time to go in effect in October. And that's it. Oak Bluffs moves up their last caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Phil. How you doing?
Doing well.
Listen, I'd bet on the weather if I could.
I like that.
I think it'd be great. I'd throw $5 on a random person to win.
Yes. Are you kidding? Let me ask you, would you go for or again the weather forecast?
Would I go what now?
For or against?
Oh, I would go against the New England. You kidding me?
You kidding, yeah?
All right. Absolutely. The odds would probably be better, too, in my favor.
I love it. That's great.
No, go ahead.
I wonder, what do you think about betting on the Boston Marathon?
I think it would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like they brought, it took them how long to bring sports betting to Massachusetts. I was always going to Tiverton.
Yeah.
Tiverton, or I'd have I'd Venmo my buddy a couple of bucks, and I'd say, hey, put this on this person or whatever,
Oh, yeah. You should have called me. I would have given you a local bookie's number.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. We don't need them no more.
Watch. We'd like to speak with you later.
Yeah, right. Hey, Phil, what's your take on Pence? I heard he's testifying.
He is. If he's asked, I think he's going to go right by the book. I think he's going, if he testifies, it'll be, what he could do legally and what he couldn't do legally. All right? I think that's the route he's going to take. He's a straight shooter,
Yeah, he's always been. I was a fan of him when he was vice president.
I was
liked
too.
How he was, very, very conservative. But towards the end, I don't know. I got a sour taste in my mouth about the guy.
About what? What soured you on him?
I just didn't. I don't know. It's a touchy subject with January 6th and everything. There's a lot of people who believe that it was a true riot, and then there's a good group of people that don't believe it was a riot. And I feel like he was more in favor of it. Of it being a mass riot that happened at the Capitol, and I feel like he threw Trump right under the bus.
Well, we will find out if they call him to testify.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Is going to be the quintessential. Thank you so much, by the way.
Phil.
All right,
have a good morning, all right?
You as well. Bye-bye now. We're at 508-996-0500. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Phil.
Hi, buddy.
And, when I was a kid, probably back in the late 60s or so, there was a place on the avenue called Magazine World. I think it was the bottom of Bentley Street. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit north of Coggeshall.
What did they sell there?
Sold magazines. Sold magazines, candy, newspapers. Magazine World.
It had that scent to it, didn't it? The minute you walked
in. The cigar?
It had cigar and paper, the wood paper smell from the newspapers. It had the
How about the smell from the monkey's cage? The monkey had free run of that place. He'd be running around on the lower crown molding around the ceiling.
He had a monkey in there?
He had a monkey in there, and that monkey would take the crap out of his butt and throw it at customers he didn't like. You don't want to believe it, don't believe it.
Stop!
I know it.
Stop! This is too good. Oh, my gosh. Can I use that for a promo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if the Wokes would be a little bit too sensitive for something like that.
So am I to surmise that it also had a bookie or two in there?
Yeah. They're all passed away now, you know?
Oh, no kidding.
They're all passed away, so it's okay to talk about it. But they used to give me, I was very naive as a child. And they used to, maybe still a little bit now.
Yeah.
They used to give me little envelopes, and they say, "Hey, take this and run it over to George's Tavern." Run it over to George's Tavern, kid.
I used to love.
All I got out of the deal was an O. Henry's bar. That's all I ever got out of the deal.
Listen, I used to love the thin light brown envelopes, right? And in pencil, it'd say like 34. P, like for Phil, $34.
I never paid attention to what was on them or what was in them.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why the government has to be involved in this. It seems to me like when they came out, I think it was in the 70s, they started to come out with legalizing betting on the lottery and stuff like that. It was a quid pro quo. It was a quid pro quo, you know? You guys... because people don't understand it, but this is a puritanical state.
Yes.
This state was made by the Puritans, and
that's right.
Gambling was antithetical to them.
That's right.
And
they went
all
for
these years
and
it was
against,
so.
Back and forth. Yeah, you're right.
All these years, it was very much against it. And then all of a sudden they said, "We need money. Let's legalize betting, so you guys can have your betting as long as we get a cut."
Well,
I don't understand why the government has to be involved in betting. I mean, I'm not saying the mob should do it. I say people want to bet, let them bet.
You know what?
What does the government have to do with anything of it?
You know what? The mob, you say about the mob, that was one huge problem. One of the biggest roadblocks to why some states took so long to get legalized betting is the underground world, the hold they had.
I think they should just let anybody who wants to bet. Well,
I think we're going to have to move to another country. I'll tell you what, though, I miss the days when these characters would walk into New Bedford City Hall with a little brown bag. Speaking of sports betting, one of the first few days that Celeste and I got into the Shawmut Diner, by the way, I knew absolutely nothing about the restaurant business whatsoever except how to order food. So we were walking through the diner, and I was in that little hallway at the end of the diner that would lead to the restrooms, and on the left was a tiny room. And it had a burnt-out light bulb, and some guy was on the telephone. It was a telephone booth. Had the Ma Bell and insignia and everything. And he had his back to the door because half the door was glass, and a cigarette dangling from his mouth. And he was writing down all these things. I said, what the heck's he doing?
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Ursula. What's a story? Morning glory. What's a tale? Nightingale. Did you hear about Hugo and Kim? Hi,
he had a list of names and amounts.
What's the word?
He was so neat. That column was perfect. I mean it.
Did he pin the pin on?
I found out he was a bookie from one of the customers, all right? That's how green I was in the diner business.
Hello, Mr. Hankel. This is Harvey Johnson. Can I talk to Penelope and...
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at EasterSeals.com.
Young people are leaving foster care at the age of 18 with little support and few skills. The National Fund for Foster Children partners with individuals, businesses, churches, and civic groups to provide mentorship, training, and assistance to foster children. Teach a young person a new skill or help them with homework. You don't need to be a foster parent to help a foster child. To find out how you can help, go to fosterchildrenfund.org or contact us on Facebook, National Fund for Foster Children.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.